700 WLW, about 25 in front of 10 o'clock. What a great honor. I mean, you have the Reds Winter Caravan starting. And there's no better time of the year as we start looking toward spring and start looking toward opening day. And have a studio. This is what the studio was built for. I mean, I don't think I've ever had, 5 people in the studio. I have Walt Chockety, the general manager of the Reds, Phil Castellini, Reds Hall of Famer Tom Browning, outfielder Ryan Lamar, and Devin, is that you?
That's me.
All right, Devin Mazaraco. I just walked in as we went on the air. Hey, Walt, I want to start with you. Some people are saying one of the greatest baseball movies done, at least since Field of Dreams, was Moneyball, and I went to see that. And I have never met you before, but I honestly was thinking about you after seeing that movie and understanding a heck of a lot more about what a general manager of a Major League Baseball team does. And I start thinking, when you start looking at teams like the Yankees that are, that have basically unlimited payrolls, and you start looking at teams, and I always hate to say smaller market teams, but your skill level, to me, your skill level would be is much greater than somebody that has an open checkbook that can spend anything they want.
Yeah, I've always thought it'd be nice to be with a club that had about $150 million payroll, but this is more challenging. It's more fun. It really is, seriously, because you have to be careful about how you spend your money. You can't afford to make mistakes, where the bigger market clubs can do that. Now, I haven't seen the entire movie. I saw it on a plane the other day and kind of was in and out on it. I think it's a little exaggerated, Darryl. But
a little?
You think Brad Pitt would play you, Walt?
Well, I think it's either Brad Pitt or George Clooney.
Yeah,
one of the two. Probably George Clooney because he's a little older,
right?
Yeah.
But it's it is tough. It's a tough job, and when but it's what we like to do. It's what we do.
Well, you've had an active offseason, and it was Sports Illustrated that came out and said the Cincinnati Reds should win the World Series in 2012, and that's a credit to what you've accomplished in the offseason.
Well, thank you. We've had fun doing it. I've got a great staff, great scouts, and we're excited about it. We think that our offseason objective was to improve our pitching, and I think we've done that with the addition of Matt Latos, and then with Sean Marshall, and then recently Ryan Madsen. And I just think that that was some key things that we had to do. We had Ryan Ludwig a couple days ago, and we're still looking at ways to improve our bench. We traded for Wilson Valdez yesterday to add some depth to our bench and middle infield. So there's still things that we're working on, but it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a really fun year. I think I've talked to a couple of veteran players who are very excited about coming to camp. They're usually excited about going to camp anyhow, but they're really energized about the season and what some of the things that we've done. So that makes it more fun.
Tom Browning, Reds Hall of Fame pitcher. You're sitting there shaking your head, nodding in agreement.
Yeah. Well, it's neat to see. I mean, just what they've done, and again, we had to lose some of our minor leaguers to get there, but that's okay. That's why you build your farm system, and I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, I'm a big Reds fan, so I like to see.
I would think.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I like to, because this town is jubilant when they're winning.
Yeah.
So it's neat to see.
I've always wanted to say this to you. I was there for the perfect game. That with the other 200,000 people, right? That seemed to be there.
It's kind of a day like today, really.
Reds Winter Caravan starting in today, and this is the northern leg. This group of people heading to places like Athens and also Marietta and Parkersburg, also up to Columbus and Lima. And Phil Castellini, who is the chief operating officer of the Cincinnati Reds. This is really the start of the 2012 season.
Yeah, it is. And these guys have done a great job. Walt really helps us promote this team in Reds country, which is really what we need to do. And so we've got a great relationship with he and Dusty and these guys that are willing to come on the road trip with us, now expanded to 3 different tours. I don't know if any other team covers any more ground than we do in the offseason between Reds Fest and the Caravan. So we're thankful to have these guys and get out and see Reds fans and tell them what's new and improved for the game experience in 2012.
Talk about the game experience. What's new and improved?
Well, the latest thing, we're bringing a futures game to Cincinnati on April 3rd. We're going to do an exhibition game. We're calling it the Spring Showcase. We're going to do an interactive BP with guys mic'd up and telling you a little bit more about what that pregame preparation looks and feels like, and then we're going to have some fun and have these guys play a pros versus futures. Reds major leaguers versus futures exhibition game for 7 innings as well. So it should be a lot of fun.
Ryan Lamar, and this is going to be your second spring training, second time out in Goodyear. And how was it when you found out you were going to be playing with the Cincinnati Reds, such a legendary team?
Oh, it was awesome. I'm just from right up the road in Michigan, so I grew up closer to Detroit, but I always knew who the Reds were, and I couldn't have been more excited to get the opportunity to play here.
What are you looking forward to this spring training in Goodyear?
It's my second time around, so I'm not going in as wide-eyed as I guess I was last year. You kind of have an idea what to expect day in and day out.
What was the biggest surprise last year with your first spring training?
I think
what weren't you expecting? What weren't you ready for?
Well, I got out there in late January for a mini camp, so we were out there for quite a little while, and I guess by the time spring training started, it just kind of flies by, and then you get right into the season, so you really don't have time to mess around. You got to know what you got to work on and get better at, and try to come and do that every single day. So I think I'll be a little bit more prepared for that.
All right, what are you going to be working on this year? As far as being prepared?
Yeah, I think just staying strong defensively, making sure I'm healthy. Working on an approach at the plate and a way to, be successful this year.
Walt, only a matter of weeks ago, you had Fielder and Albert Pujols, both in our division here with the Reds. And today we sit here with one All-Star first baseman, that being Joey Votto.
Right, and I think that Joey will have an opportunity to really shine even more this year, because I think he'll obviously be one of the top first basemen in the National League. It certainly helps our chances in the division, having those two guys not only out of the division, but out of the league. So, but Joey, I think I talked to him the other day. He's one of the guys that's very excited about the season, and I think he's a guy that we hope to extend here in the next year or so and try to keep him around for a while.
All right.
I think the Fielder deal is going to make it a little tougher to do, but we'll keep working at it.
Well, let's talk about that just a little bit. And I know this is off on the tangent, but when you look at a deal that's 9 years, does a team like Detroit, when they're signing up someone for over $200 million, do they expect to have someone like Fielder play all those 9 years, or are they expecting this going to be a short term, maybe 4 to 5 years? And
well, I'm not sure what the process was that they went through, but generally that's a long time. That's a long contract, and he's still what was Fielder? Probably 28.
28.
Yeah, 27, 28. So I mean, there's a chance that he'll be still playing at a high level. And, he'll be in the American League where eventually he might be able to DH or whatever. So, but it's tough. I think it's tough to get value for that long a period of time on a player for the amount of money they sign him for. But that's, I think, like a small market club. So that's kind of the way we have to operate.
You see, living in Cincinnati, though, I always say when I hear people talk about small market, I mean, I get the economics of a city this size, but I mean, it is so great to live in a city that does have a Major League Baseball team.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is so unique in this world, and when you look at Cincinnati and what really makes Cincinnati so culturally rich, it is things like the Cincinnati Reds and Major League Baseball.
Right, and I think that especially this organization that's been so successful over the years, and the number of Hall of Famers and the championships we've had, and now with the new ownership group led by Bob Castellini, and what Phil and his department on the business side has really done to energize this organization and get the city excited about the team and what we're trying to do on the baseball side to improve the product that they have to sell. And it's really I think it's a great time to be a Reds fan. And I'm not just saying because I work for the Reds. I really think if you're a Reds fan, you look at the future of this organization and the way we're going, the direction we're going, the young players we have, like Ryan is an excellent young player, and Devin has demonstrated over the years as he's developed what a great player he is. He's one of the top prospects in baseball, and probably if not the top catching prospect, one of the top one or two. And we've got a lot of young players like that coming through. And we did, as Tom said, we had to trade a few of our young players to add to the club this year. But that's part of the business. That's part of the process. And it hurts me to trade guys like that, but because you develop a relationship with them. But it's part of the business, unfortunately, and that's what you have to do to get better. And we're not going to be able to go out and sign the big free agents like Detroit did with Fielder or the Angels did with Pujols and so forth. So we have to try and develop and trade and work smarter.
Devin Mesoraco, this has to be exciting to go out on a caravan and lack of a better way of putting it, press flesh with fans and have fans come up to you and talk with you and you giving them insight to what's coming up in the 2012 season.
Yeah, definitely. This is my third caravan here, so I'm sort of a veteran, but I get to usually the fans come to you, but this time we're going to the fans.
Right.
And we get to see the smile on some of the kids' faces when they get an autograph or anything. So that's just a great joy for me.
All right. Well, have a wonderful time. Next stop after this is what? Athens? Heading to Athens?
I know Zach just points in the direction.
When it stops, we get off. And
it is Athens tonight, and then Marietta and Parkersburg and Columbus on Friday, and Lima on Saturday, and this is going to be a cool one in Dayton at the Air Force Museum there. I mean, that is a cool venue for this.
Yeah, we've been before, and it's basically inside a hangar, set up a stage, but it's basically a big hangar, 500 people, the stage with our guys on it, and planes all around you. It's just a really neat,
It's pretty cool.
neat stop. We look forward to that on Sunday.
All right, guys, much success in the 2012 season, and we'll be rooting you on.
Thank you.
You're on the big one. Ryan and Tom and Walt and Phil and Devin. The Reds Winter Caravan starting here on the big one, and they are heading to Athens. Trust me. 12 before 10 o'clock on the big one, 700 WLW.